Mahalo and Talofa, everyone. Welcome to the Polynesian Eyes podcast in this live digital Kava session. I'm Masi Fare from Aotearoa, New Zealand in Manurewa. Nice and cold here on this neck of the woods. Been a busy week. It's been a while since we've done a live digital cover session, so I'm excited for tonight to be with all of our viewers and also with the co-host Tualau Fare.
Sorry, guys, with our cousin Elon Musk and a lot of the technical difficulties, we're not gonna touch into. I'll see a lot of comments going on YouTube, especially. We're gonna try to stay on track because I feel like every 15, 20 minutes, as the satellites do their rotation, I think we lose
Yes.
signal a little bit. So we're gonna stay on track. The next one is another social media response, and this
Hey,
is
we've been
from
getting a lot of
our
reactions. We've been getting a lot of reactions
yes,
to our Jeez.
yes.
I thought people didn't care about hearing what the live digital cover session people had to talk about.
Yeah, sometimes people said something's too low for them, but only when it's in the public. Yeah? When it's in public, it's too low for them. But when they go in the dark and hide, then they crawl down. They crawl down to the lowly Polynesian ice podcast.
Mariela.
Yeah? They're the ones that when you see them in the daytime in front of everyone, you try to say hi to them, they put their head up and walk away. But when the sun goes down and all the devils come out, then they're like, "Oh, hi, Polynesian Ice Podcast. How you doing?"
Too funny, too funny. Hey, we
Oh,
love everyone. We love everyone. We're grateful for the conversation because that's what the whole goal is to have more conversation and let us discover more of our Polynesian history. So, malo to our Samoan brother there.
yes. So what I'm going to do, Masi, is I'm going to try and find. This is on the Offside podcast. We're actually a fan of these guys. We think they do good work. We appreciate a lot of their feedback and their thoughts and their perspectives. We don't always agree with them, but we appreciate anyone who puts time and energy. So we're fans of theirs. Kind of give Masi, you're familiar with them. I think this is Eliota is his name.
Yeah, the former Manu Samoa rugby player. He's kind of like the main character on the show, on their
Yeah,
podcast.
and he's done a lot of cool things, right? Like he's really been he's kind of like the redheaded stepchild, I guess, for Manu Samoa. Even though he's done a lot, it sounds like not
Yeah,
just as a
he's the
player, but
yeah.
representing them, trying to help grow rugby in Samoa and even in New Zealand. So he's someone who's contributed a lot. Unfortunately, when you're trying to be an agent of change, the current people in power don't always like that, and
Mm,
so it seems like there's a little tension. But I mean, the guys tried to do a lot of good things from the little bit I know. Masi,
yeah.
anything to add to kind of that background?
No, I agree. I agree with you, too, what you've kind of explained about his background. I think the first time I came across him was when he was suspended by the Rugby Union Board, International Board or World Rugby Board, because
Hmm.
he didn't like the treatment of Polynesian players, especially with making it difficult for eligibility from players that weren't selected on the bigger international teams, Australia, New Zealand, England, and the whole stand down. So he was all for that, and I'm a big fan of him for pushing that because I 100% agree, and that's what's killing rugby union as a whole, the lack of player movement to allow the competition to be at its peak because you're not getting all the best rugby players in the
Make a
international
better
game.
product.
Yes. So, and I that's I agree with Eliota on those issues, and also he tends to be against big government. I'm along those lines of going against big government, and also, I agree with him on some of our stuff that Polynesian people can definitely think we can do. bigger and better things. Always do more than just your simple task, because he's kind of, us trying to push us to do more. Some of the things I do find I don't agree with. It's a bit sometimes it's a little bit out of reality, regarding always blaming others. That's the thing I don't. It's almost a little
Mhm.
victimhood. Victimhood gets you nowhere, especially as an athlete. If he was an athlete, we have families that were athlete, hang around with other athletes. Being the victimhood
Doesn't
is
get you. No one cares.
doesn't get you
When you're
anywhere.
in the game, when you're in the
Yeah,
game and you get smashed, you get overpowered because that guy had more money, more access to nutrition and weights. No one cares. All they care
no
is who
one
won.
no one cares. And for us to play in the big, in the big games, and to get to the better outcomes for our people, there's accountability within yourself and your decisions you make. And always talking about the past history, and still focusing on all those hardships, and that, let's just say, all that trauma. It's like you're trying to relive all that trauma from the past,
Can't let it
and
go.
trying to bring it to the current people now, and saying that we're still being oppressed. But last time I checked, I can get a job what I want. If I can't get a job I want, you can always get further certificates and education to increase your likelihood to get that job, and you just keep trying. Our opportunities are endless in these days, so just that's the only thing, the sticking point that I don't agree with some of his explanation, is more of the blaming game, instead of focusing what we need to do as a Polynesian people to hold us accountable for our actions and choices we do to be better for the future. Because I'm always focused on the now. It's good to talk about the history so it doesn't repeat itself. So when things like that come, especially with the palangis or things that's come again, then we recognize that we can better attack it. I'm all for that. We can always go and unite under that. But to always blame on everything for our reason not being uh, moving forward, Polynesian community forward, because we're always blaming somebody else for our problems. Yeah, that to me, that's not right, and it's unrealistic, and it's a little bit. It almost like makes you untouchable, that you can do anything. It's never your fault, which is which is not right. But that's just me.
No,
That's just my feedback regarding that.
that's the danger of the victim mentality is no one can be held accountable, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
trust me, I don't like being held accountable, but I also recognize that the only way to move forward is to have accountability, even though sometimes we don't like it, but that's the reality. And coming back to what you said, if you were in a game and the guy across from you is a guy that bullied you and mistreated you and took opportunities away from you, the referee doesn't care. The referee only cares about, are you going to tackle him or are you not going to tackle him? Are you going to beat him or are you not going to beat him? And so that's why you got to get away from the victim mentality. But
and it robs you of your time. If you keep
yes,
dwelling and keep bringing up those things that are still saying that it is holding us back, then you rob our people of the time when we could be using it for better things, maybe for getting a job. Also, maybe instead of being single to your late 50s, maybe you should get try to work hard to get married. Like all these little things we can do better in our society, to maybe take better care of our children, and maybe better support. Like all these things can withhold our progression as a Polynesian community in the 2025 era, instead of always focusing on stuff that happened. We have no control what happened in the past. What we do have control is recognize and learn from the past, and just prepare for the future. Kind of like what I mentioned, but yeah, that's just
yeah.
my kind of take on that.
No, and really, I mean, at the end of the day, the reality is this: we're not saying that those bad things didn't happen. Because I can tell you
Yes.
right now, we're gonna get some people like, oh, what do you just pretend like that? No, we're not
Yeah.
saying it didn't happen. But the reality is, in order to move forward, you can't dwell on that. Like you were saying, we know it happened. We know racism exists.
Yeah.
But is that the real reason why you're struggling? I don't know. I don't think so. Right? And so you have to be able to, we recognize those disadvantages, we recognize those things, but at the end of the day, you have two hands, 2 feet, and a brain. Do the best that you can. Do the best that you can with what you got. And a lot of times, what you're doing today may have little to no impact about you. It may be about your children, your grandchildren.
Mm.
I can see this in my life. A lot of the blessings I have today and opportunities I have today has very little to with what I did. It has more to do with what my parents, my grandparents, and my great
Mm.
grandparents did. Let's put it this way to wrap it closer, Masi. This is the Ufi mentality. The
Mm.
Ufi mentality is, whoa, we're not going to harvest in 1 month. We're not going to harvest in 2 months. We're not going to harvest in whatever. 12 months. 12
Mm.
months. Now, you can harvest at 8 months, but you can't complain. How come my Ufi is not full size? Well, because
Mm.
it takes 12 months. You can
Mm.
harvest earlier, but you can't complain that, oh, my Ufi is not 6 feet tall. Well, did you plant at the right month? Did you get the right polo polo or the right seed? Did you go out and did you huo every day? Did you do everything you could to maximize the opportunity for your Ufi? That's where you need to focus. You don't
Mm.
need to focus on, oh, the Ufi I planted, it was abused or it was, didn't eat enough, whatever before. It's like, no, no, no. You got what you got. We just got to move forward and do the best. So, we really liked it. What is the plus 64? Is that their studio or what's the, because it's the Offside podcast, but it's like a plus 64 platform? Do you know anything about that, Masi?
No, I'm not familiar with that. It could be maybe along with his or fellow co-hosts. Maybe that's more of them kind of mentioning that, but I'm not too sure with that one.
Okay, all right. So to kind of set the here, they were responding to a video on the Offside podcast. Let's watch that video. It was actually created by someone else on TikTok. So we'll watch that video. We'll up from.
Oh, looks like we have a little hiccup. Satellite is being covered. Oh, there we go, Dua. I think we got
There
you
we
now.
go. Yes. So we'll jump into that first video on TikTok that they were doing a little bit of response. They didn't play the whole thing, and then we'll give more context to what that video was trying to talk about,
Okay.
and then we will go from there. So let me pull up that video here real quick, and let me know when you can see it. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
The Maoris are one of the few cultures that we have witnesses or accounts of the early Maoris having prophecies of Christianity coming. Basically saying there's a new religion coming, and that's the religion we need to embrace. So it was quite shocking to me when you hear people like this who say, you're not a real Maori, you've been colonized because she's Christian. Basically, what they're saying is because Christianity was introduced from Westerners, then therefore you've been colonized. So the basic idea is this: anything from the West is bad. Education's bad, cell phone bad,
Don't wear
TV
any
bad.
clothes. Don't wear any
Yes.
clothes.
Don't do any of those things. You better be living off the land. The problem is there aren't any more real Maoris. And if there is, they ain't part of the discussion. When you speak the English language, you're already colonized.
Right.
Where do you draw the line, right? Like that's the problem
no-
with the thinking.
Yes.
They're speaking from a brainwashed, colonized
Mm.
point of view because they don't understand where they come from. And that's why when Maoris get offended and say that they're not Pacific Islanders, I was like, last time I checked, Aotearoa is an island in the Pacific, my friends. And if you look where your ancestry came from, you came from the other Polynesian islands, my friend. The fact that you're offended when you say you're a Pacific Islander and you don't understand where you come from, that in itself is telling you something about that point of view. This point of view that says if you're Christian, then you're not Maori. That's like, these are people who don't understand where they come from. Like, they're really colonized in the mind.
Any initial thoughts, Mr. Ateoro?
No. I mean, that cut up, that cut up was, I think, was a little bit not accurate, but with the whole saying us something and then the whole laughing and stuff, it makes it feel like we were like degrading or mocking or anything. But we're just, it's the we talked about it. It's the short videos, and people can cut up however they want, and it's the name of the game in this digital age stuff. But I didn't. I mean, I guess a lot of people find that offensive, but I didn't find that offensive. We're just having a conversation. We are relatives of the Maori. We're just speaking of what we see of a reaction from another fellow Maori lady that was being attacked by her Christian belief, and we're just, just speaking from our opinion as let's just say relatives of the Polynesian nation. But
Mhm.
that's just me, Tua. Unless you had anything else.
No, I thought it was interesting. First off, that it's because of our accent, right? That obviously we have an American influence with our accent. Um, they put on there that U.S. Polynesians or Northern Hemisphere or U.S. Polynesians telling about Maoris who neglect Christianity. So first things first, I think we need to set the record a little bit straight. Yes, we are Americans. We're proud to be Americans, but we grew up in Tonga, right? We grew up in Tonga. We also spent many years of our lives in Hawaii. And yes, I live in the mainland. Mr. Aotearoa happens. How long have you been in New Zealand, Mr. Aotearoa?
7 years, Tua. 7 years.
7 years.
I feel like I'm a local already here in Aotearoa. I know the streets and the shortcuts here in South Auckland. I'm still learning
Yeah.
about the North Auckland, the North Shore side, and the east side of Auckland and west side. Little bit, like they say in Hawaii, small kind can
Small kind.
get around. But
Yeah.
South Auckland, I'm local already. Do I know all the shortcuts and stuff off
Yeah.
road?
You already look like Auckland Grammar and what is
Yeah.
it, Wesley Boys College or whatever.
Wesley Boys. Oh. I think the closest school over here is the Alfreston College. That's kind of like my local
Galveston
school over
local
college.
school.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it can be misleading. I mean, I can understand why they made that assumption, right?
I
But
do. I know why
fair.
too. They probably because remember, probably a lot of people who speak on Polynesian history are from people from this side of the world. Because I think we mentioned it too. A lot of the PhD studies of
Mm,
Polynesian history, let's just say they call it what Pacific Studies, is from
Pacific
this side
studies.
of the yes, is from this side of the world, and when they speak English, it's a British, New Zealand, Australian accent, and that's what they're used to hearing in their ears. But they don't know there's people in the good old USA that just know just as much or more, and I think they're just surprised. But that's
Yes.
all, Dua.
Yeah, so that's what stuck out to me. And then the other thing that stuck out to me is not only that, yes, we recognize we're in America and we have an American influence, but we're kind of rooted all over the world,
Mm,
especially in Polynesia. I've been to Fiji, I've been to New Zealand multiple
yeah.
times. I've been to
You even
Samoa,
been
I've been to
here
grew up
multiple
in Tonga.
times.
Yes, went to high school in Hawaii. Mr. Aotearoa, you live in New Zealand. You've been all over. You've been to
Yeah,
more Pacific nations than I have, right? Where have you
yeah.
been?
I've lived in New Zealand. When I say live, you got to live there more than about 2 years. And I lived in Ha'amoa, both independent Ha'amoa and American Ha'amoa. Been lived in both of those places. Lived in Hawaii. I visited Tahiti. Visited Fiji. Lived in Tonga. Like I mean, it's just funny when we get the comments. Maybe maybe they're just not used to it, like I said to it. But I mean, we just don't speak from zero experience and living around the Polynesian nation. So
Yes.
it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of the comments in there was, us being disrespectful in that video, right?
Mm.
That we're attacking Maoris. I want to play the whole reason why what that video was about.
Oh, nice. That'll be
So
good.
that
That'll be good
people,
for
yeah, so that
context.
people, yeah, so people have the context. We live, I understand we live in clickbait world. The
Yes, sir. Yep.
Polynesianized podcast participate in the short videos because it gives you good exposure. We understand people don't always have the time
Yeah.
or the focus for long forum, but we want to get more exposure. So we do the short videos. But we want to give people the context of what we were actually trying to talk about in that video so that there's more context and then we can weave that in there before we go to our brother Eliota and the Offside um, podcast here.
All right. Let's do it.
So,
Our sister here from the Aotearoa and what she has to say. And I'm clicking on the wrong screen. Sorry. We need to
No
go.
worries.
I don't believe in God because of anything anyone's told me. I believe in God because I had a personal encounter with Him. Anyone who believes that Māori have been brainwashed into believing in God doesn't actually trust that Māori are powerful and we carry mana. We understand what we're doing when we choose to follow Christ. You are welcome to disagree and you are welcome to your beliefs. I don't.
Very.
so want to remind everyone that the whole segment we were doing was defending this Maori sister from other Maoris and others who were attacking her and saying, you're not a real Maori because you believe in Jesus, that you're not a real Maori because you've been colonized in the mind with the white man's religion, right? That was the whole point of that episode or that section. Now you see when it's cut up, it's almost like, oh, we're talking down on. No, we were kind of trying to prove the point. How can you say she's not Maori and say that she's colonized in the mind? Like that one comment that says, well, if you're speaking English, are you colonized?
And that was a comment from one of our viewers. Correct.
That was a comment from one of the viewers, right?
Yeah.
And so you have these people who are going to respond to that and say, oh, you guys are putting down Maoris. It's like, no, actually, believe it or not, we were defending a Maori woman and her beliefs and letting her know there's nothing wrong with believing in Jesus and that doesn't somehow disqualify you from being a Maori. So this goes to show you can go and defend someone and their culture and their right to believe, and then the video gets cut up and it gets sent out. Oh, you're attacking Maoris and putting Maoris down, when that was the complete opposite of what that segment was talking about.
Yeah. No. 100%. It is kind of what let's just say this day and of age is about. It's all about short clips, but for those who really did kind of understand our point of view, probably went back and watched the episode in its entirety to get the proper context. But we were just speaking as Polynesians who believe in the Christian faith, just speaking on behalf of this Maori Polynesian woman, pretty much, and just speaking that it doesn't when you believe in a Christian faith doesn't make you colonized. I mean, it's crazy, and that's the thing. If we don't have these conversations, Tua, right? What happens? Everyone thinks that you've been colonized. Like obviously, Tua, we've kind of hit a nerve if this was a big deal because this is the people more people who interact in this ideology, thinking that everything because and that's the thing, it's the lack of understanding of Christianity. Christianity didn't come from Europe, it actually came from the Middle East Israel area. I mean, like that's where it came from. Just because they brought it to the islands by Palangis doesn't make you that you're whitewashed or you've been colonized by the Palangis. It's just an idea that was brought up, and it's actually helped many nations do better. You know, so it was just a lot of focus on the negatives, and I think I do understand with the whole Christian ideology that was used to colonize other islands, and that did happen in many of the societies. But you know, we're speaking from our personal experience in the Kingdom of Tonga that didn't happen. So because that
Mhm.
didn't happen, you can't apply it to Tonga, which did not happen. So that's all.
Yeah, and as you were mentioning, Africa had Christianity through Ethiopia before it even went to Europe,
That's the lack
right?
of understanding. Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is the thing that I think a lot of people are struggling with, and we discussed this on a previous video where we were reacting to the offside. Remember, they were talking about Tonga, that Christianity was forced upon Tonga, and they
Yeah.
were discussing that. And we were, and even in this video, that episode, sorry, the latter part of that video, we were talking about, this idea of decolonization. That is a colonized perspective, right? If you go and you pay attention to who are all the people pushing and originating decolonization, you will find that they are primarily originated and driven by Western professors. And then
Mm.
those Western professors educated some Polynesians. And now it looks like it's the Polynesians that are pushing that narrative, but they learned it from the
The
Western.
Palangi, the
So,
Palangi atheist believers.
yes. And here's the thing, and this is why we have to be very careful about this idea of decolonization. This is the equivalent of you get colonized, and then in order to free yourself, you go back to the person who colonized you to get the ideas to free yourself. No, that all you've done is return to the source of colonization to get more colonization. So you have to disengage from that. And this is one of the reasons why the Polynesianized podcast exists. Leverage the benefits of the West, right? The West brings science, it brings.
Oh, I think the satellite orbit is losing a little bit connection from Elon Musk. Hopefully, Elon Musk can get our brother here, Tua. Okay, you're back, Tua.
All right. So we have to take the good that the West brings and also bring the good from our ancestors and put those together, right?
Yes.
That's how we need to. But that's something that's really important. That's a big part of this podcast. This is why even when people disagree with us, we encourage it because it's about having conversation. If you
Mm.
go somewhere and people are just always agreeing with you and always on the same page, something is wrong because human
Yeah.
beings, we think different, we act different. Um, and so we shouldn't be such thin-skinned people that if someone has a different idea, then that means we can't work things out. Like a prime example is Tonga. Tonga. Not all the Tongans agreed on how Tonga should be saved, right? The founding fathers of America, they all didn't agree on how that would be saved. Look at now, Elon Musk and Donald Trump have different ideas on how things should be done. How you navigate those things? You have conversations. This is why I'm a big believer that the Kava, the Kava sessions and the Kava type of approach of bringing ideas together, discussing those ideas. That's why we believe in the live digital Kava session. Is that's how you bring the ideas and have them compete. And the good ideas tend to survive, and the bad ideas tend to die as
Mm.
more people talk about it and think about it. Um,
I
But
just
we
want to add
really
something
need.
to
Oh, go ahead,
yeah,
Mas.
no, I was gonna think I was just gonna add also, with the whole this negative picture for the Christian faith, and it comes from, I don't know, it's like this thing, like if you had like a pastor or somebody of leadership with a church that did you wrong, or your family wrong, or the congregation did you wrong, that they paint that like that's we all under, if you're a Christian and somebody did you wrong within your own faith, that's you most people will give it up, but you're not a Christian because of what other flaws of men did to you. You are a Christian because you're a follower of God and Christ. That's your connection. What the flaws of men do to you and hurt you and your family, the only thing you can do is forgive them what they've done, learn from that lesson, and you move on, because your faith is directly to God and Christ. That should be your main focus. But like there's this thing of like understanding like the Christian is all bad because all these people have done you wrong, or the priest from a certain faith did you wrong, or did this one wrong, or the congregation is like, dude, I think every active Christian believer now probably had somebody within their own faith did them something wrong. But we all understand as Christian followers that that's the flaw of men. Doesn't, if you, even if you go to the same faith, you just learn your lesson and then you avoid that person, but you're still going to attend um, ceremonies because that's what brings you closer and to learn good things of God. And that's the thing, you only rob yourself of other good relationships that you can build from other members within your church community or your faith community if you have that kind of mindset, and you kind of have a paintbrush of like every church leadership that does you wrong is you need to stay away from. I don't know, because I feel like that's kind of the common thread that I'm kind of seeing from our Polynesian communities who no longer practice the faith, but have like it's almost like they can't even tolerate people speaking their Christian faith. It's pretty nuts.
Well, and the thing is ancestors. You're basically saying your ancestors couldn't make their own choices. They were
Mm,
basically forced to do this, or they were duped to do this, rather than saying, well, is there another reason why our ancestors embraced Christianity? Right? And that's one of the perspectives we bring, is there is much more to our history than what we typically will hear from the atheist academics who want
yeah,
us to believe a certain way. They
yeah,
want you to believe that you were forced to accept everything. Because then if you were forced to accept everything, you're willing to let go of everything and adopt whatever they want to teach you. But you need to
yeah,
understand, or we need to understand, our ancestors, yes, there were challenges. There were some things that they had to sacrifice in order to keep the tradition and the culture alive. But I think they were much wiser and much more diligent than some of us are giving them credit for, right?
mm,
Like we sometimes hear it's like, oh, they were just duped into Christianity and they were forced to. It's like, well, is that really the case? Or did they see something? Or did they feel something that drove them to do that? Um,
mm,
which is the danger of the quote unquote decolonization mind, is you could be rejecting some of the good things that our ancestors saw in Christianity and European culture, that they said, hey, this is a good thing, this is true. It rings true with some of our cultural beliefs on family, on a supreme being, and the role of religion in our culture and in our personal lives. It's a very slippery slope to just ancestors were dummies and they just accepted Christianity because they were forced to do so. Um,
yeah, yeah.
so
Well,
with
well,
that,
that's
oh, go
well.
ahead.
I was just gonna say, Dua, that even I'm just thinking of the whole Tongan history of just Tonga being able to be independent. If he did not leverage what the West had, and I'm talking about what did the West have? He was able to leverage their their way of doing treaties to be recognized as an independent sovereign nation, because that's what the West viewed as you were civil enough to maintain your own sovereignty. So that's how the West kind of saw other nations, and we were able to use that ideology because Taufaha was able to use that and created Tonga has the oldest. I don't know if many of our viewers know this, but has the oldest constitution in the southern hemisphere. You know, either that or Argentina, but like in Polynesia or in the Pacific, I can say that for sure. Tonga has the oldest
Yeah.
constitution, and that's what how the West in those times, even up to now, constitution is the supreme law of the land. So because you had a constitution, and not only that, what was the Polynesian flavor on that dua? It was written in Tongan, right?
Yeah.
We kind of mentioned it with the whole Treaty of Waitangi, the weaknesses of that, writing it in two language and recognizing it as official documents. But the Constitution, its official first translation or the first creation of the Tongan Constitution was written in Tongan. So that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to add to you. What you were saying, Tua, taking the good things from the West. That's what Taufahau did, and it was part of the stepping stone to save Tonga to be the only Polynesian island not colonized. That was the step.
No, 100%. And I think that's something that's really important. And that's a good segue. Let's get into the offsides kind of response and feedback to our video, or that video that was chopped up. Now that we have the context of what we were
Okay.
trying to do and the video itself, we can now take a look at their initial response to it.
Oh wow, womp. There's this other thing with we got sent this on our TikTok, and the Polynesian Eyes podcast. Do you want me to play this? Or should we
Yeah.
just talk about it?
Now play it for the.
Okay. This got sent to us, and again, some Samoan, some Usos from the US who are talking about Maoris who
Samoa.
neglect the Christian
Samoa.
faith. Again, very divisive.
The Maoris are one of the few cultures that we have witnesses or accounts of the early Maoris having prophecies of Christianity coming. Basically saying there's a new religion coming, and that's the religion we need to embrace. So it was quite shocking to me when you hear people like this who say, you're not a real Maori, you've been colonized because she's Christian.
What if there was a way to know?
Oh, there's our commercial
commercial
viewers.
break. What's your initial thought to that so far, Mr. Ateoro? Now, did
I'm
you?
surprised.
I mean, we are Samoan. We have Samoan blood,
Yes,
so
we
it's
are.
not totally
That's
off,
why.
right?
That's why I said ha mo alu. You know, we can go with that. You know. I was. It's interesting that I think his name is Danny or Danny. He says that this is divisive. You know, because I mean, we don't. We try to we were family friendly kind of podcast and stuff, but like I thought their podcast is I thought it was like you guys say some interesting things too, but I don't think it was that divisive. We're just having a conversation, but I just found that very interesting. He said it was very divisive, but I don't know about that. But I don't know what you think about that, Dua. When you found that when they kind of start off that it's divisive, and they were thinking about playing our video. I guess they were thinking maybe not playing it because it was too divisive, which I find very interesting. Oh, Tua, can you hear? Can you hear? Satellite is breaking,
Hey, Musty.
rotating around. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go back. Yeah, go back to where you're saying you heard some of their stuff, and you didn't
No.
think it was that divisive.
No, yeah. I mean, I heard their stuff, but I don't think their stuff was like, that, divisive. They tend to cuss a lot more than what we do and kind of thing. But like, I'm just saying, like, I'm surprised that they thought that our thing was divisive because they were thinking of maybe not playing it just to talk about it or to play it. But I didn't think it was that divisive compared to what, they like to talk about kind of topics that we like to talk about. So
Controversial stuff. Yeah.
controversial stuff. So I was surprised that they thought that our stuff was divisive, which was interesting.
Well, this is saw with the Ufi, the story of Bo. Just because an idea is challenged that they accept as reality, they take it as demoralizing and divisive. Right? They don't see when someone challenges their idea, they don't see it as, oh, that's another perspective, that's another way to look at it. Maybe it might
Instead
have
of
some
that
truth in
light,
it.
it's a light that they think it's divisive. Eh?
Exactly. And then number two, I mean, obviously they didn't at least go look at our episode to be like, is that really what they were talking about? Because obviously the video was chopped up, right?
Yeah.
You could tell from the video. But the other thing too is, and maybe we'll show it a little bit more, is they didn't just say, hey, look at the video, this is why it's divisive. They just said divisive right off the bat without really looking at it. And then we'll see. Brother Eliota here is gonna give some feedback, but I see a theme here, just like our Ufi brother. They play the video and then they don't even talk about the substance of the video, even though it is chopped up and out of context, but at least discuss what was being presented in the video. So let's come back. Hopefully we can get through this episode. Apologize to all the viewers. Elon Musk, I do have it in my front yard, so maybe it's not having a clear view of the sky, but you know, we make do with what we got.
Yep. Oh, I can't hear it, Dua.
Oh yeah. Let's come back here. I need to take off the sound. I apologize. You should be able to hear it now. Let me just go back just a little bit.
Are one of the few cultures that we have witnesses or accounts of the early Maoris having prophecies of Christianity coming. Basically saying there's a new religion coming, and that's the religion we need to embrace. So it was quite shocking to me when you hear people like this who say, you're not a real Maori, you've been colonized because she's Christian. Basically, what they're saying is because Christianity was introduced from Westerners, then therefore you've been colonized. So the basic idea is this: anything from the West is bad. Education's bad, cell phone bad, TV
Don't wear any
bad.
clothes. Don't wear any clothes.
don't do any of those things. You better be living off the land. The problem is there aren't any more real Maoris. And if there is, they ain't part of the discussion. When you speak the English language, you're already colonized.
Right.
Where do you draw the line, right? Like, that's the problem with the thinking.
Yes.
They're speaking.
Stop it there. Trash.
Oh,
These
we're la
Usos look like
Samoan language week.
I don't know what's going on with the internet.
Did Trump cancel Elon Musk's subsidies? And then did he do a EO, an executive order already? Shit.
Well, the thing I wanted to respond to, and I don't know if it showed in the video, but they show the clip and then he goes, "Those Usos," with an accent, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying, it just shows the kind of Polynesians he's been hanging around with in America. Unfortunately, he had to respond like that. Shit. Oh man. Either that or you just need to travel more, my brother. You need to travel more. That's what happens when you're in the island too long. You tend to think a little like an island boy,
Yeah. You start to think that Auckland is New York City or something.
The world is much bigger, my brother. The world is much bigger.
Anyways, so yeah, I was cracking up when Eliota's like trash.
Hey, cool,
come
man.
on,
Just
man.
relax. That's fine. Why everyone
Yes.
always intense? Just
Yeah.
relax.
Maybe he's feeling we're demoralizing him. Maybe he feels we're demoralizing him, like our Ufi brother. Oh man, that cracks me up. Let's come back.
You know Five Guys, Jose? No.
What
love
Five
Five
Guys? No,
Guys.
you gotta tell
It's
us.
fast food. It's
Oh.
fast food. That's a shot. I'm sorry, Usos. I'm playing. I'm one this week. I enjoy my kalo. But yeah, this is a
What do you think the point of that comment of the fast food? Is it because I look like I'm a muscle guy, or is he saying because we're American and we're
He's-
only fast food, or what? What was
Yeah,
the thought
I
behind that?
think this is just my opinion. I think he's saying that it's almost like he's using the food analogy as saying that we're not real Polynesian because he obviously
Plastic.
eats talo. Yes, he eats talo.
Oh,
So I don't know.
what's his
That's
name?
what I'm thinking.
What's his name?
I think
What's
his name is Danny. I think his name
Danny.
is Danny.
Danny, if you watch this episode, not only have I eaten more talo than you, probably, but I know this for a fact, Danny, just from hearing how you talk. I've planted more talo than you. I have raised more talo than you. I have eaten more lu than you in this whole, and I picked more lu from the talo plant than you. I've probably fed more pigs than you in your lifetime. I probably scraped more coconuts than you in your lifetime. So, and on top of that, I've eaten more Five Guys than you.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the thing too. I'm like it's just that's just me what I'm thinking. It's like like I don't know if he can do a omu by himself, Tua.
Oh yeah,
I'm just saying, come on, Danny, stop it, man. Like we have to, we kind of mentioned earlier, man. We've been around the whole Polynesians and we live there. We're not just because we have
yeah.
an American accent, and apparently maybe the American Polynesians you've came across are probably the ones that you kind of have a strong reference to, but we're a different one, and there's a lot more Polynesians in America who are like us too that know a lot and have passion for the Polynesian eyes or Polynesian nations from their home. So,
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I mean, see, this is what's funny. Before he even plays the video, he says, "Oh, so what's the word he used?"
well, oh, Tua, and I was just saying maybe we he say we go eat Five Guys too because we're also married men here. We're not trying to look all nice and how skinny to attract another sunga or another tahine, Eh, Tua? If
Those
we
days are
trust
gone.
me,
Those days are
those
gone.
days are gone. We're married men. We're
Yeah.
looking bigger things. If we wanted to look nice and good, trust me, we'll be there. If we wanted to attract, look and have a nice body, and have a nice looking feature, and have some nice muscle. If we wanted to attract a sunga somewhere, you know.
Yeah, well, and the funny thing is I can't see him very well, but he looks like he enjoys Five Guys too, just like I enjoy Five Guys.
Well, you have access to Five Guys there. I think over here we're still McDonald's and KFC over here in Auckland.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, Five Guys is like the rich
It's
man's fast food because it's expensive.
y-
It's like
yes,
almost what $30 for just a burger and fries and a drink.
yep.
Like a
It
lot
ain't
of
cheap.
people were like upset with Five Guys because they were super expensive. But
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna. I mean, these guys said they wanted. I mean, they took the gloves off. We're gonna give them honest. Here's the funny thing. I want to get your thoughts on this, Masi. You know how each Kava group has its own personality, right?
Yeah.
You go to one group, they just like to sing every night. It's all about the jam session. You go to another one, they're like the athletes. They're always talking about sports and sports stuff. You go to some, it's the Faifekau's house, so it's a little more serious, a little more formal. A lot of it is more spiritual driven. You go to some of those older guys ones like the Ulutea club
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Nuku'alofa. It's more like old school. We talk about history, politics, everything's on the table. That's how the live digital Kava session is. We had a little bit of fun earlier with the Ufi, but as we get into these guys, they want to be a little more serious. They want to be, they want to be treated like a black belt. Like our Ufi brother, we kind of joke around and mess
Yeah.
around.
Mm.
That was one type of personality. Now that we're coming here, these guys are more right off the bat, they try to drop the nuclear option rather than just, instead of just throwing a jab, just to check it out, they want to go with the haymaker right off the bat. It's like, oh, okay. So I guess we're in the haymaking mood, but wanted to bring that up before we continue, just so
All right,
people
let's
may
continue.
have sensed that there was a change in the atmosphere. So let's come back.
This conversation will be ongoing forever. I think also as we kind of expand into this world, also leave the Māoris alone, bro.
Yeah, but it's just random as well. Like, it's just rubbish. Like the whole don't wear any t-shirts. Like that's not a Western thing. Like you can even search it up. That wasn't invented by Balinese. It's so crazy, man. Like there's a lot of chat is based on stuff that people don't even know properly. And and like you said, you just said it. Like this is gonna go on forever.
Mashi, you're the one who made that comment. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I guess I gotta clarify. Well, the modern clothing we're wearing has been the industrialization age. What did it start from? Was it Great Britain, Tua?
England.
No,
England started the
England?
Industrial Revolution.
Industrial Revolution. Then it spread off to most of the West, and now it's all over in the country. The modern clothing we have, especially with this, the shorts, the jeans we wear, the pants, that's
Those
all
are
from the West.
industrial. Yeah.
That's from the West. I mean, I guess I gotta clarify, and I guess you can. Yes, I think there's been other places like even Tonga. We had the clothing we wrapped. That's a different. The modern clothing the entire world wears is from the West. The traditional clothing and how other people dress, that's unique and stuff to them, but it's not the modern clothing we all wear right now. That's been industrialized and mass produced and distributed to all the world. That was from the West concept with the industrialization that produced motor vehicles and also produced, like what you said, refrigerators, like all of these air conditioners. Like that's what I'm saying. That was all industrialized from the West. So, the internet, for heaven's sakes, the internet we're using and right now to broadcast the internet was from the U.S. military from the West, if I'm not mistaken. So
Al Gore said he created the internet, but
Al Gore.
Al Gore,
Even if it was him, he's from the
He's
West.
a
Like that's what
clown.
I'm trying to. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I guess I had to clarify with that, but that's what I meant. Unless did I say anything wrong, Tua, or
No,
what?
the point was you can't just, because we got to remind them. See, number one, he goes random. Well, it's random if you're just watching that clip,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
He doesn't even and then leave the Maoris alone. What do you mean? We were taking the side of a Maori woman who was being attacked and called that she wasn't Maori because she was Christian. And yet we're told to let that Maori woman be attacked when we think that there's nothing wrong with her being Christian. See, this is the kind of, and then what is their answer? People making comments without, educating themselves. Chole, start with the video itself. Don't just randomly pick a video and then assume that it's random. But it's random because you have no context for it. Maybe get some context. Maybe don't say that we're quote unquote Samoans, even though we have Samoan.
Tua, you're back now. You're back.
Yes.
I was just telling the viewers to thanking them for their patience and bear with us. Bear with us while the Polynesian Eyes podcast is still in transit. We're still trying to move. So I think we're still live and still going.
Oh yeah. Anyways, yeah. I mean, any thoughts before we go back to the video? It looks like
I
we
did.
we
Yeah.
need- Go ahead, message.
No. Now I did have one thing I wanted to I did want to discuss on the leave the Maoris alone. We're relatives, man. Why we can't? So I understand if you're somebody totally different heritage and race, can't speak on Maori stuff, and maybe because they don't have context. Like, dude, we are relatives of the Maoris, so I feel like we can we can speak. We're a Polynesian nation family kind of thing, and if we can't speak on the Maoris, then what is it? Only certain people that can only speak. You have to be actually Maori, like you. We had the Ha'amoa speak on Tongan history, Tua. Like
Yeah.
I think they did. We did a podcast reacting from them from their They had a podcast uh, section of reacting to Tongan history, especially Talofa. We didn't condemn them on that. We just added our flavor and fulfilled certain things, and I think that's what needs to happen because there's little nuances, maybe from different Polynesian islands, cultural and maybe nuance on how they do things, but I don't think that's a bit far fetched to say to leave them alone. We can't speak anything like we don't. And I live here in New Zealand. Like, come on, man.
Man, we gotta get through this live. We're gonna do with what we got. Let's get through this. Let's
Push it through.
video.
Push it through. Let's go.
Like Christians and non-Christians, and and if gosh, it's just again we're just gonna fight, and now we got some Samoans popping off shots at Maori, and then obviously Maori will jump back, and gosh, it's just like that's how it was wanted, the whole divide and conquer, that's how it is. The whole self-entitlement, I am purer than thou bullshit. Just like you said, it's not gonna end, man. It's not gonna end, and someone's gotta speak some fucking life into our people, bro. Like, just remove all this divisive shit, man. It's just
divisive.
Look, the
Oh yeah, wait, AI.
Divisive. AI, papera.
Papel ammonia, AI.
Eh?
Shit. Go,
See? No, but I mean,
Tua,
this
speak
is
some
the
life.
divisive.
What you think?
Well,
Yeah, speak some
well,
life.
see,
He
and-
says we need to speak some life into us.
Well, that's the thing that's interesting. Number one, they're saying it's divisive, but they have no idea what's being discussed, right? We're talking about a Maori lady, and then what does he mean speak life? I think speaking life is what you said, Masi. Don't fall for the victim mentality, because life is about moving forward. Life is about moving to what's next. If you're always going to fall back to, we were colonized, they took everything from us, they did this, that is not life. That's called death. That's not moving forward. That's not progressing. So if you want to, I agree we should speak life, but future, let's breathe working together, let's breathe talking, and forget about the victim mentality. That's what I think breathing life is to our people. What are your
Learn
thoughts?
from the past. No, like to keep it nice, short, and simple. You learn from your past, but don't use the past to re-traumatize the current new generation that has so much for the future and to do better. That's just me, and I think most people who are successful, and when I say successful, not on a large scale, successful in just bringing your family with you for the little wins you have in life. That's what we need to do as a people.
100%. Let's get to at the rate we're going. We gotta plow through this. We gotta breathe life into this podcast because it's getting a little too choppy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
We'll do that.
man. I can see why they're so hurt because they're Christians, obviously.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The Tongan.
Are they Tongans?
Yes.
Ah, say bear, my lord.
Oh,
Yeah, the Tongan. But I mean,
You got a fellow
The-
Uso. At least
the
he
uncolonized
could definitely
Tongans,
watch it.
yeah.
to be fair, I mean, I actually enjoy their topic when
Yep.
they talk about it. And
Oh,
I do acknowledge Polynesian eyes bringing up with different perspective,
Yep.
different angles and stuff. And I think that's probably why we got our attention. So that's probably why they wanted someone to, help them, educate them, or whatsoever. So they pretty much open to any idea that comes in. So, yeah. So not to take away from what we're trying to talk about, but it's just, acknowledging what they want to say. And
okay.
that's why we got this podcast. We can talk about what we disagree with.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not tangata whenua, and this might kind of sound like I'm defending Māori. Get a billion views, and that pushed culture online, and they've done it with the haka, They've done it with their speeches, their matatini. They've done it with their performances. They've done it with how they've reclaimed back all their land, as they continue to reclaim back all their kind of resources in New Zealand. They do that far better than other indigenous cultures, and they're leading the way. Just put some respect on their name. Shout out to the Uso Poetic, because I know he'll be tapping in as well. And once this rears its head again, we're just going to talk about it even more.
Yeah, and just to stop trying to put like Christianity with global development, you know, like they do it all the time. Like, you know, like they try and say that.
Before he gets into that, what are your thoughts on that, Mussy? Well, that's interesting to me. What they're trying to talk on this.
I appreciate the Uso at the back, because he definitely, you can tell he's probably did watch some of our videos and has a better context. And that's a fair feedback. Like what he said, have a broadcast, we can share ideas that we disagree with and educate us. That's a that's a common sense feedback. And you know, that was good, and that's what we want. Like you said, it's a battle of ideas, and just see which one rises to the which cream rise. You know, let the cream rise to the top of which idea. I think he mentioned something with the Maoris as the best indigenous group of Polynesian culture to the world. I'm thinking about it now, Tua. I don't know, man. Rock and the Ha'amoas, I would say, are probably.
At the moment, yeah.
At the moment, I mean, you know, in different phases. So I don't know. I don't know what he means by that, because the Rock, that when I think he mentioned like 1 billion views from that protest stuff. I mean, the Rock, he does. I don't know how many videos of billion views that he does for the Ha'amoa people. So I think I you know, I would like to challenge that. I would like to challenge that idea, because the Ha'amoa with American Samoa access to America. America is king in promoting content, and a lot of the
And
Ha'amoas
culture.
and culture, right? And not only that, that trickles down to Hawaii. I think Hawaii has more tourists, more people know Hawaii than New Zealand. If you go to middle America, this is how you know if you are well known. If you go to like Kansas, and if you say which Polynesian island they know, they're gonna say Hawaii. So, you know, that's what I'm trying to say. Hawaii, and not Hawaii, and Hawaii does that matatini. What he was mentioning is their kind of Maori version of, they do their songs and dances. Merry Monarch. I don't know if he's heard of the Merry Monarch in Hawaii.
And
That
that's
does
superior dancing. That's fantastic. Yeah.
superior, and the content that promotes with the Polynesian culture, and people from all over the world, not just within Hawaii goes, people all over the world go to the Merry Monarch. So, you know, with the Ha'amoa, with the Rock, who is the biggest and well recognized Polynesian, then all of the All Blacks put together, and Matatini put together, the Rock, he's king on that. And then with the festivals, I would say the bigger one to the world, I think the Merry Monarch, and in my opinion, to regarding that, like, you know, Aotearoa is still, it's still small fish in the world. Like it really is. Like, and that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. When 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 your experience is only in Australia and New Zealand and Samoa, that you have thing, and you maybe did visits here and there, like, dude, the world is still, Aotearoa is still a very small fish, you know, still a very small fish. Mary Monarch, because Hawaii is part of America, and using that platform to project the culture and stuff, you're gonna have far more reach, my friend. You know, so that's just me. Mary Monarch, regarding the biggest festivals for Polynesia, and Mary Monarch, and then the Rock to me, and the Ha'amoa community, because of American Samoa, and that tunnel that's like a flowing tunnel that feeds off to the U.S. mainland U.S. That's just my thoughts there. I don't know if you had
Yeah.
anything, or did I miss something?
No. I mean, my thoughts, I guess, is just, I guess I have a different perspective on what pushes forward the Polynesian culture. Is it exposure? I think he's mentioning exposure, right? Like,
Yes.
what's giving exposure is not necessarily the same as pushing Polynesian culture forward. Like you could have zero exposure
Hmm.
and working in your own little corner and pushing Polynesian culture forward. Like for example, I was watching a video about a guy in Vava'u or maybe Ha'apai. He
Hmm.
says, "Oh, he's from a family that comes from Samoa and from Fiji that would work on the boats, right? Karia boats before the Karias would go to the Cook Islands and go to Futuna and Uvea and do the reviews. He chose to pursue maintaining that knowledge and that skill set. Me personally, that pushes Polynesian culture more, even though nobody recognizes it, nobody really hears about it, than a billion views. There's a difference in my mind just because you got exposure, right? Higher exposure and so forth, than actually moving the Polynesian culture forward to the world. Because you talk of certain people like David Tafare. I feel David Tafare, yes, he's our dad, but if I try to remove myself, what he's done to
Hmm.
push Polynesian culture that very few people know about. And everyone here is talking about, oh, Polynesians were these great navigators. Oh, we traveled by the stars. No one was really talking about it when I grew up. I remember seeing newspaper articles mocking him because he
Hmm.
didn't have an education. But you know what? He dedicated his life to that.
Hmm.
And there's probably countless people throughout New Zealand, Samoa, Tonga, Fiji. There are people who are doing little things that not getting exposure that's pushing the Polynesian culture. And we may not see their impact or recognize it, but those people are doing. So I have a very different perspective from what he's saying. To me,
Hmm.
is
Okay.
he saying exposure of the culture? Okay, a
That's
billion
what it
views?
sounds like.
Yes.
Sounds like because he's using the example of the billion views on TikTok or social
Yeah.
media.
Yeah, I've
But that's
seen her, and not to be rude, I don't know too much about her, but I think of AOC when I see her, and that doesn't really impress me. I saw the video of her walking around, and she says, "Oh, look at what I did," and it was like a little garden in the community that really wasn't flourishing, and I'm like, "This is it? Like this is what we're saying is pushing the Polynesian culture out?" Like I give more recognition to what you're saying, Mary Monarch. Those are high quality performances that to me I'm like, okay, that is something where not just the kumus or the teachers, it's the
yeah.
dancers, they're dedicating their life that preserves it. I would take that over a billion views of someone doing a haka in the parliament that really, okay, that's just exposure. That's just my opinion. I think
Hmm.
to me, I think there's a lot more of people who are, if we're talking about pushing the culture forward, I give
Yeah.
more credence to people who are preserving it more rather than getting more exposure.
Yeah. Because I was just thinking too with the whole right with the whole New Zealand's thing. New Zealand is just popular just amongst most of the Polynesian communities throughout the world. That's what that's the thing,
Yeah.
right? But if you don't interact with people who are non-Polynesians, you really can't see that. But we've acted. I've been around a lot of non-Polynesians that even don't even know. They think New Zealand's still grass shack and still
Little
like a
huts.
place, little huts. Like they have no idea. New Zealand is more the niche that people understand that when they have the Polynesian was it the Polyfest and stuff, that's only within the Polynesian community. You go, like I said, you go somewhere in Arkansas or like all these other places in America, there's like, what the heck is that? Where is he? Where is New Zealand again? Oh, he's like, is that by? You know what they'll think? They'll think, oh, is that part of Antarctica? I've heard a comment even say that. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's come on, man.
Oh,
Like when you interact, and this is important. Like you don't know when you interact with a lot of non-Polynesian, especially outside your kind of most where comfortable or what you kind of used to growing up, you kind of appreciate a lot more of our uniqueness as Polynesian because if you don't see that, then you is like, dang, then it's kind of hard to differentiate what we need to do further. But you know, um, like I said, Hawaii, because of the U.S. and its connection there, and with the Rock, to me, they're the ones in his category on how he's measuring exposure. To me, they're those are the two factors that kind of get the most exposure. But that's just
No,
my spill.
100%. 100%.
Oh,
Yes,
there
we're
we
back.
go.
We're back.
Oh, was it 3000 BC. You know, like they try to say that Christians invented things, and it's just crap.
The Rome deal everything.
Do you want more customers from your ads
Oh.
cheaper? Do you want to make 15 and 20?
Well, what are your thoughts on that, Mushy, while I get to the commercial here?
Oh, it was kind of broken up a little bit. Joel, was it? Can you just help me remind me of exactly what they were kind of saying?
He was talking about how people think Christianity invented everything.
Well, we weren't. I think. Well, that's interesting. Why you think Christianity? We were talking about the West. It's a bit different with the West. I mean, that's two different concepts. But it looks like he's putting
He's
that concept.
combined them.
He's combined them, and to me, that's the wrong idea. Christianity is not from the West. For the Pacific, that's where the Palangis in the West brought Christianity, but the origin of Christianity is not from the West. That's what I'm trying to say. That its origins are way, way, way before. It's just the West has taken up that idea and has spread that across all over Europe and wherever they went. So that's kind of my idea on that. Dua, it's two. He's conflating the two ideas where they need to be separated because they're not the same. That's just my take on that, Dua. If you can hear me. Oh, there we go. There we go. Dua's joining us. Mahalo guy Starlink Dua.
Oh man, maybe next time we're not going to use Starlink again. We did the last time, but maybe Elon Musk and Donald Trump's argument is causing impact. Like you said, the subsidy's been removed. But
Go ahead, Dua.
no, what I was going to say is I agree with you 100%. He's associated Christianity with the West. Christianity is not even. It's a Jewish. It's a Northern Africa, Middle East
Correct.
religion, right? And like we said earlier, it actually went to Africa first. It could have been it was with the Egyptians first, probably. I mean, Jesus went to Egypt. Abraham was in Egypt. All of the story in the Old Testament, a lot of time, was in Egypt. So it's that false idea, and I think some people are just traumatized with this idea that Christianity is the West, just because
Yeah.
they brought it. And I want to push that idea even further.
Yeah.
Christianity or the West did not invent everything, including Christianity. And that this is one of the ideas that we bring to the table. Our ancestors had concepts that Christianity tries to claim as theirs that actually our ancestors had, right?
Yes.
A spiritual realm, a supreme God that ruled from a spiritual realm. Life
The
after
belief
death.
after death. Yes.
Yes. And certain things of that nature that, once again, it's not always to be seen as they brought something foreign, is they brought something familiar to our ancestors. And maybe that's why we're so religious. Rather, that's one way to look at it, but it seems like his perspective is we were beaten into Christianity, which is not always the case.
That's what we kind of mentioned. That is the philosophy of a Palangi who is atheist take on that, which has infiltrated a lot of the academics in today and then spreading it through the students who graduate with that ideology. Because like what you mentioned, to the Christianity faith started in that Israel, Middle East, and to and to Northern Africa. But I think there's a lack of understanding on the ancient religion from our Polynesian ancestors, which I don't think they understand at all. It's they've taken just the understanding of religion. It's more their understanding is more worshiping our ancestors, which Talofa went and cleansed before introducing the new religion, because the idea was we believed in the ancient traditional religion, which was held and kind of gatekept in Mu'a, which was Hikudeo, being somebody you couldn't see, which is kind of like, and it's translated as the tail end of the voice, which many of the scriptures portray as the God now, right? The God that the Christian
The
God.
God of
And
Israel. Yeah.
he's never showed his face. He's always spoken to, well, in the LDS religion, he did show his face to the first prophet, Joseph
Mhm.
Smith. So that's our faith and what we believe. So, but in general, with the Christian faith, it's always been through the speaking to his prophets through his voice, and Jesus Christ being the only one to come here on this earth. But I think it's that misunderstanding too, from what I believe is they're not under their understanding of the ancient religion is worshiping ancestors and all of that kind of stuff, which was incorrect. It's the ancient religion was something far beyond your ancestors.
Yes, 100%. And what we need to recognize is this: the civilization that the Westerners found in Polynesia was a civilization in decline. It had already crumbled. Whatever the state of the government and the religion at that time was not even a shadow of what it used to be. And so that includes the religion, that includes the government. And, I know it sounds biased. I know it sounds like, oh, it should be called the Tongue and Eyes podcast, but it's the reality. The fact that Tonga survived colonization allows Polynesians the opportunity to say, no, we did know these things before. We knew that there was a God in the spirit world. We knew that there was life after death. We knew these things. And Christianity didn't bring something foreign, they restored something that was already among us. And we recognized it and we embraced it because it was familiar to us.
Correct.
And that's why we are religious, and that's why it comes so naturally to us, is because our ancestors have been doing that for thousands and thousands of years. And to reject that under the false pretense of other academics who no longer have that faith in God, for us to now believe them, it's like you're the guy who shot me because you thought I was a savage, and then now you're going to tell me how you think it should be treated. Like
It's
now
the
you're going
same
to do
people.
some.
Yeah.
It's the same people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Let's rely more on our ancestors and our grandparents and great grandparents and what they sacrificed and what they believed in. And it's just unfortunate that there's this idea, and hey, let the ideas compete, but I think it's an unfortunate idea, not in that the idea exists, it's the fact that this idea has been adopted so readily by people who think I'm educated now, I now know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
my ancestors were just duped into this. It's like, no, just like Eliota said, they didn't invent Christianity, they didn't invent, but they brought these things to us. We adopted it, and we're gonna take the good things and try to leave the bad things and move forward. And we're not gonna get stuck on you hurt me, and therefore I'm gonna never be able to progress for the rest of my existence.
Yeah.
But
No, I was gonna add another thing. Even if you take away the whole Christianity thing out of the book in Polynesia, you can't negate that our people before the Christianity came were some type very devoted religious followers. You can't take that away. And then when you add with this thing coming, this new religion, and like you said, Tua, they were familiar. of these teachings because there's a resemblance of the old religion, right? They're like, that was the reason why it spread so fast. But you at the same time, and then you say if it's not Christianity that you're following, then what are you doing then? Because our ancestors have always been devout religious followers, you know. Just let's just say in even you think in their same religious followers, there were other Polynesians among their villages that did them wrong. They didn't stop following their religious ancient religion faith. No, they probably, back in those days, they probably settled their ways probably differently, but it didn't say that this was not true. They just kept believing, keep the faith. But I'm just saying you can't take that away from our. It's in our Polynesian DNA that we were devout followers of faith, even if it's not a Christian faith, if it was the old religion. And then if you
And
kept
that
staying in that, yeah, if you kept staying with that, right? If you kept staying with that, and then and then there was periods because we are just looking that the especially when the fall of the ancient religion was coming and people were worshiping their ancestors, then there was like a cleansing, which there's proof with the Fort in Hule and what Tafahau did when people devoted to their ancestors and kicked their chief out because he wasn't doing it, and then there was a cleanse. It was a treason.
yeah. And I think I'll add my closing thoughts, Masi, and then you can close us out. And this is my closing thought. We appreciate everyone's responses. We think it's a good thing. We need to have more conversations. We invite it. We don't take offense. We welcome it, and we think this is a good thing because it'll cause more people to talk. Yeah, let's
Almost
close out. Come on, Elon. Couple more minutes. And really have these conversations like our ancestors have been doing the ocean around the Kava Bowl for thousands of years so that the best ideas come to the top. Last thing, another reason why we shouldn't have the victim mentality, because if our ancestors were the most powerful military and political unit on the earth, trust me, we would have colonized the earth. Our ancestors did it. That was common. Kamehameha did it. The Tuitonga did it. And let's not forget the Maoris did it to the Morioris, as we did in one of our other episodes. It is documented that Polynesians colonized each other in their efforts. So let's not act like if we were in charge, we would have done something different, in my opinion, because we have history that shows that is human nature. That's not a Western thing. That's not a Polynesian thing. That's a human nature. And so we shouldn't waste too much time feeling sorry for ourselves, recognize it, see it as a reality, and then move forward to what's next. And apologize for the technical difficulties, but we tried to push through it. With that being said, Masi, thank you for your time, and have you give us the closing thought, and we'll end our choppy live stream today.
Appreciate it, Tua. Appreciated your thoughts here and joining the live digital Kava session on the Polynesianized podcast. Appreciate all the viewers. Tua did share that we can't share your comments, but we appreciate your guys' input into the digital live or the live digital Kava session of the Polynesianized podcast. Just because of our things are still in transit. We're not fully settled yet in our base in Viva Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world. But we will get there, and things will run smoother in our future episodes. But closing thoughts here. I didn't mention it before. Even if you're not a Christian faith, but if you're not doing something to improve your relationship with God, or you can say hikudeo, any forms, you're not gonna head in the right direction, because our people were devout followers even before the Christian faith, right? That's who we are. That's what we do. We believe in something superior, way superior than us, and we're gonna go to there's life after this life. So that's just my thoughts there. I appreciate the Ausos on the Offside broadcast talking about it. This is just, like I said, this is just sharing ideas. Polynesians from different backgrounds, Polynesians from different experience. We're just sharing ours, and put it out there for the viewers to hear and make the their decisions based on that. But we appreciate everyone. We always leave you the two kind of the sayings from the Polynesian Eyes podcast in this live digital Kava session is stay curious, be bold, and ask the hard questions. Ofa'atu everybody. Till the next one. See ya.
Peace.